Wonder Woman issue number 5. Okay, folks, let's get into this. There is a lot to talk about in this book. It's interesting because I don't know if this marks like the first time Tom King is writing some of the extended Wonder Woman family. I don't think it is. I'm sure in some of his like other works they've come up, maybe, but this book definitely marks like a first for him, talking about some very specific characters that I care to talk about. I love this series. This issue was surprising. I think because for so much of it, we've spent the first 4 issues making something new, and this one is a lot of bringing back a face you're familiar with, which is very surprising, and it pulls some interesting names. So let's get into this. There's a lot to discuss. Let's try to get through it in a reasonable manner. This issue opens up. It's Diana sitting, I guess, in like a diner. Yeah, it's a diner. She's with Yara and Cassie and Donna, and she's like, all right, pick how you want to do this. Yara says arrows, Cassie says arms, and Donna says something different. It's like, okay, so we're going to do arms and arrows and different. Okay, we'll see what that is. So like with most Tom King books, there's like 2 stories going on. There's the one going on of Wonder Woman and her Wonder Girls, and then there's the one where it's the narrator, who's like the king of America, explaining that he's building his army. So he tells us about like this strong person who may or may not have been a woman, turned into an ape, turned into a woman or whatever. Anyways, Sergeant Steele's recruiting Giganta. Makes perfect sense. And then they're going to go recruit Cersei, and you're like, oh, okay. And, you know, the narration for each time they like pick one of the Wonder Woman villains, it's really interesting. I like Cersei's is kind of like, well, she's a witch and we could probably know she's going to do her own thing and go against us, but she always knows who's better than her, I guess is what they're saying there. So like, we're kings and she's a witch, so she's going to fall in line. So when we get Cersei, she's going to be part of, like, she's going to understand or whatever. I don't know. So then we get the first contest. The stuff with Wonder Woman at the beginning of the book with the characters is her trying to do a contest with them. And this is the contest between Diana and Yara Fleur. And Yara Fleur, I have talked about every issue of her book. I was really excited when that character first came out. That was like 3 years ago now. That's crazy. I like Yara. She's not a new character anymore. That's crazy to think about. This is Tom King's first time writing her. Now, as somebody who was there day one for Yara, who has followed her in almost every other iteration, I don't know if this is the strongest depiction he has for a character. Like, I think he gets the theme for the rest of the Wonder Girls. But when it comes to Yara, there is an arrogance to her that I don't really love. She keeps calling out Diana for like, you're old, I'm young, I'm the new generation, you're the older one, we do things differently. So this is all emphasized by the 2 of them firing arrows at each other, and the idea is they start with 1 arrow, they get 2 arrows, they get 3 arrows, just seeing who's going to be the first one to break. And it's a lot of just like Yara calling out the hypocrisy of what Wonder Woman's trying to do for this new event she's a part of. Everything she's doing in this world is being like, you're the old guard, you have to let us help you, you have to seek praise for all, like, you have to understand we can do something good here too. It's just the old generation, the new generation arguing, and when they get to 4 arrows, that is when both of them miss one of the arrows. So they both stand still, and an arrow flings into Yara's chest, and another arrow just barely misses Diana. So Yara has lost her competition, and she's like, fine, I surrender, I'm down, I will not get involved in your war. I'm done. So that is what these competitions are for. This is so the Wonder Girls who have pretty much, essentially in some essence, taken up arms because of Diana are not going to get involved in her war. So Yara is the first to surrender. That is when we cut to Dr. Psycho sitting in Sergeant Steele's office. I love the narration for Psycho. It's just like, he thinks he has a smart mind and he's a genius, but he's kind of a prick and he's a little dickhead. We don't really like him, but hell, he hates women more than anybody, so he'll help us out. And then Who's next? Okay, we did Giganta, we did Cersei, Dr. Psycho. Who's next on the list of iconic Wonder Woman villains we can pull from? I know, Grail. And Grail is like sitting on like a guy, and there's like men in bondage all around her, and the narration's like, yeah, we did not send Steel to deal with this girl. Instead, I'm a king, so I spoke to her like royalty, and that got her attention. I know a lot of more recent stories have Grail as like a central figure. I just think she's a weird character, and it's so strange to put her in here, but hey, you do you. I guess it makes sense when like we're talking about like royalty, we're getting some royal characters. So fun. Fun, I guess. I just love the image of Grail sitting on a bunch of bald guys. That's really fun. So we go to the next contest. This is Arms, and we are in like some bar somewhere, and Cassie is talking to Diana. She's like, you know, I never wanted to be like the princess girl, like the girly girl. I mean, I liked pink and I had fun, but whatever, but I was always tougher and different. I like to play in the mud. I like to get dirty. I like to do all that stuff. But then I became Wonder Girl, and I became this thing of beauty and this like this identity for like what like a girl should be, and I became a princess girl, and I'm fine with that. So just so you know, you might think I'm the princess girl, but I'm also strong enough to take on this challenge no matter what you're insinuating from me, Diana. So their contest was arms. They're going to have an arm wrestle, which is fun. I like that. And I do think there is something really interesting about the portrayal of Diana in this issue particularly, where it could come across as very stiff and very like, oh, she's not going to show emotion. She's, you know, Gal Gadot is a terrible actress trying to show she has feeling, but it's more just, this is Diana's way of telling you, like, I'm about to do something dangerous and unheard of and more scary than anything we've done before. And because of that, I want you to know that I'm doing this out of love, that I don't want you to get hurt for something I'm standing up towards. You do not have to fight this battle with me or for whatever reason. So it comes across as stiff a little, but there's also, you get the hint of the love behind all the actions. And just describing the dialogue does not do it justice. It's very well written. It's very well executed. And they're going to have a arm wrestle. You know, it's kind of fun that Cassie brings up, like, you got your muscles from your mother sculpting you from clay. Zeus literally gave me mine, so what's stronger, your clay muscles or the power of Zeus bestowed onto a mortal? And this kind of wrestle, Cassie kind of gets the lead. But at the end of the day, it's Wonder Woman telling them, like, I can't have you do this, and I will always be stronger, always be better. I love you more than anything, and it is I who is weak, because I do not think you are weak. So Diana, she wins it. She defeats Cassie in the arm wrestle, and Cassie in an angered defeat is like, okay, you won. I swear I won't interfere. Then we see the next person that Sergeant Steele and the King of America are recruiting, and it's Silver Swan. Hooray! Where has she been? Who cares? But how do we get her to do it? Well, the Amazons pissed her off, so she's going to toy with Steel a little bit. I love that Steel gets picked up in the air and dropped by her, and he just starts screaming like, oh shit, this is literally how I die, isn't it? That's pretty fun. And then we get a lunatic in here, and the Angle Man is the next person we go to call. He's locked up in a crazy place, but he's, you know, possibly the only person that's like an equal to Wonder Woman, so we had to get him on board. Weird stuff. Who's thought about Angle Man? Not many people. That's for goddamn sure. So Yara used arrows. Cassie had an arm wrestle. What does Donna want to do in order to stay out of this fight or be a part of this fight? Her and Diana, they're gonna play Injustice. So we see the battle that's going to ensue is Donna playing as Batman, and it's Diana playing as Superman. And I love this. It's so much fun. Diana sitting on a couch, pretending she's like an old grumpy lady who doesn't know how to play video games. She's wearing her glasses. And it's just Donna like, look, I've battled some intense people just like you have. You've spent time with like Clark and Bruce. You fought Darkseid and Lex Luthor. I've spent time with like Gar and Victor. And the times that we're not fighting and saving the world, we're playing video games. And you intercut this with just seeing, Batman just beating up Superman in the video game. And it's just like, it's Donna being like, I knew they were going to pick things that you could beat them in, physical things, like things that are so timeless that anybody could do it. But we're talking about video games now, Diana. I know what that's about, okay? And you don't. You're of an older guard. You don't know video games. So we see that it looks like it's a clear victory for Donna in this. But the one thing that happens is so much fun. This is so thematically relevant to this entire story and to this battle that we're seeing portrayed in the video game. Donna thinks she had the prep time and the knowledge of this game to beat her, but it's all about biding the time. And Diana explains this through being friends with Batman and Superman. Batman needs prep time. He needs to plan. He needs to always have a plan. And the thing about Superman and the thing about Clark is that he's always holding back. So, while throughout the video game, Batman was beating up Superman at the last leg and at the end, it is Superman who just wins. Because Diana studied with Bruce and studied with Clark. She knew that Batman's going to have all the prep time, but at the end of the day, it's just Superman is so strong and noble that he's going to be the victor. And because she knew Donna is friends with guys that like video games, she studied video games and she played them, and that is how she beats Donna in a video game. That's fun. I genuinely love that. I think it's a really cool, really neat idea. And just, who would have thought of that? That is such a clever thing to do. And she's like, Diana, just let us help you. She's like, no, I can't ask you to do that. Just two people, clearly aware of what's about to happen, trying to stop the other from getting involved. It's terrifying. I love it so much. And then we cut to see, all of the villains who are going to be working together. There's 6 of them. Yeah, okay, cool. What I love about this team, strong Darkseid lady, winged lady, a witch, Giganta. And then you just have Dr. Psycho, who's a little freak, and then some weird guy with a triangle on him. Crazy. It's so stupid. I love it so much. So they're putting their armor together. Little did Diana or the, King of America know that Diana was building her team herself. So we see Diana heading back to her apartment one day. She opens the front door, and standing in her apartment are all the Wonder Girls in their Wonder Girl garb, because fuck the rules. We're helping you, Diana. We don't really give a shit about whatever you just had us do. Doesn't matter. We're standing by you. This is where I kind of like how King treats Yara, where she's like, fuck ghosts, fuck gods, fuck tourneys. We'll help you. Who gives a fuck? And then Donna's like, I think what Yara is trying to say is, no, we're going to help you, babe. Okay. That's kind of fun. So now the Wonder Girls are going to be enemies of America. How's that going to play into the Titans book? Probably not existent at all. And I don't know. It's awesome. It's so much fun. Sam Puri just crushes it with the artwork. Every depiction of these girls and these characters is fantastic. I particularly love the way he makes Grail. I think she looks really cool. And I do like his Donna. There's something so special about this. I dug this issue so much. I went into this kind of hesitant because I didn't really love the way Yara was being treated. But the more I went in, the more it worked for me. I'm like, okay, you clearly understand how Diana is supposed to be written in this moment, where she is just so emotionally all over the place with how the world is treating her and how she has to treat her sisters at this moment. That's actually breaking her, and she has to put on the brave face. That's how I perceive it. I really dig that a lot. We do get another backup, and this one, it's an older Lizzie. She's in her teens now, and she's going on a kangaroo race with John and Damien, and the winner of the race gets to pick the name of their team. And you see Lizzie's idea is they're going to be Trinity's Trinity, which is Okay, counterintuitive, but she cheats and she runs ahead of them on the kangaroos. So then it's just like John and Damien pissed off at each other, like, I can't believe you let her do this. I can't believe you let her do this. You want to call the team Delta Force, Damien? That sucks. Not like Super Friends. We should be the Super Friends, Damien. That's a great name. But Lizzie's so happy she's winning, she falls off a cliff and she lands in the water. And when she wakes up, she's like, guess what, guys? I won. I did it. I beat everybody. And she comes up with their new name for their generation, Gen S, because the S stands for hope, blah, blah, blah. They win the day. She's hanging out with her brothers. Fun. So are their parents dead in this time? You know what? It doesn't matter. I'm just having fun. Really cool stuff. Great book all around. Like, we're really doing some fun stuff here. I love it. I do love it. I think it's exactly what we need to see. It's cool. I'm 100% invested, 100% on board with everything going on in this book. So, Wonder Woman issue number 5, I'm going to give a 9 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.